AEAC is made possible by Air Venturi, Hawksport Optics, Diana Airguns, FX Airguns, Pro Air Federation, Air Arms, Sports Match Rings UK, H&N Sport Pellets, Air Marksman Airgun Accessories, and JSB Predator Pellets. And you guys know the best way to thank them. Okay guys, we are here with Bill Gardner, the owner and inventor of Skout Airguns and the new Epoch. Today he's going to tell you a little bit about his company. We're going to get you all the way through the Epoch end to end, teach you all about the technology and how it works. And I don't think we're going to leave any stone unturned. This is going to be a great conversation. So, Bill, it's all yours, sir.
All right. Well, we've been manufacturing paintball equipment for about 30 years. We actually invented and patented the first electro-pneumatic paintball guns many years ago. So all of the stuff that we learned in the paintball industry, which is a very complex industry with guns that fire 15 to 17 shots a second, we took all that and we wanted to make an air rifle. And that's where how we originated the idea of the Epoch.
So you've been at this for 30 years.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, you've climbed to the top of your game in the paintball industry. Like I've done a little bit of reading, and you're like huge in that, right?
Yeah,
have I overinflated that?
No, we were much younger at the time, but we competed internationally for 20 years. We travel to Europe 7 times a year to compete. I have over 100 tournament wins and maybe 12 world championships. So we've been involved in that industry and at all levels. And yes, we've done very well.
And your guns are all over the world too, right?
All over, distribution all over the world. But but this is our new project.
Yep.
And we're very excited about it.
So you wanted to step into to the airgun realm, and you've done it with the new Epoch here. How long has this been in development, and when are these guys going to start seeing it in stores?
Well, this is 5 years in development, and we are currently shipping the 30 caliber versions of this gun. The rollout 30 caliber first, 25 will follow very shortly, followed by 357 and 177. And 22, unfortunately, will be the last because the barrel development has taken us more time than we expected. So the rest are finished, but we're still working on our barrels for 22.
Okay, so I'm an old hat airgun guy, and from what I understand from reading through your literatures, the technology here is a far departure from what I'm used to, what these guys are used to. But in talking to your customers to be, some of these big dealers around, they are super excited about this because it works.
Very unique.
It's unique. Do you want to take them through it?
I'm going to get the
grab whatever you need.
So everyone wants to know how this gun functions.
Okay.
And this is the valve in the gun and the only moving part, other than, of course, your mechanical action.
Where does it live here?
It lives here.
Gotcha.
Okay? And basically, the way this gun functions, there's a seal on this end and a secondary O-ring over here, and we balance the forces. So it's slightly biased closed, but it has a 400 thousandths orifice. Now, in a typical air rifle, if you had a 400 thousandths orifice, to get the valve open, you'd have to slam it with a massive hammer.
Yeah.
But using balanced forces, we're able to bias it slightly shut, so it doesn't require a lot of pressure to open it. And what we do is we shoot a small burst of air at about 150 pounds per square inch, that might be like 8 or 9 bar.
Okay.
That basically pulls this off the seat about 42 thousandths.
Okay.
Once that happens,
about 42 thousandths.
Yeah, very, very small movement. No, that's it. Yeah. And then the air that's actually launching the pellet shoots through a small hole to this very large orifice in the back. So you have full pressure behind it to close it very quickly.
Okay.
So in our opinion, the trick to an air gun valve is to get it open very fast and get it closed very fast.
So you don't waste that air and destabilize your projectile.
And you get exactly, very crisp shot.
Yeah.
So the beauty of this valve is from 177 at sub 20 foot-pounds all the way to 150 foot-pounds, with slugs, we're able to open this valve very crisply and shut it very quickly, because as the pressure goes up, it's going to shut faster and faster. So it's a very, very unique valve. It's also, everything in the gun is built to be modular, so that there's a tool that comes with this. But unlike many air rifles, if you want to get into this valve, 3 screws come off, the upper comes off the bottom, 4 screws to get to the valve. We're into the valve in 3 minutes, and we can replace this entire cartridge. And you'll see that the regulators and everything are built to be modular so that dealers can very quickly replace them.
Okay, so I like tuning air guns, and you're really speaking my language with the quick open and the quick shut, the no waste air to keep things stabilized. Is anyone else using this tech? Like, I'm not familiar with this.
No, I don't think anyone. I've never seen. I mean, it's similar to a paintball gun. There's some aspects that are similar.
So it comes from the paintball thing.
But it's also, there's a big difference between sealing. Paintball guns used to operate at about 800 psi. Now we're down to about 120 psi to achieve the same velocity. So we brought the pressures down. We're doing the same thing in here. We're getting velocities at much lower pressures than most air rifles. But still,
so you're running a lower reg pressure, speaking their language.
Yes, we're around the plenum. We're running a much lower pressure to produce the same energy.
All right, where's the plenum live on this?
Right here.
So the valve lives inside the plenum.
The valve sits in the plenum like this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let me grab some regulators and show you.
Yeah. So
the tuning. Let's just add to the tuning.
Those are here, right?
Correct.
So that they can visualize it.
So to tune this gun, which is completely different than any other gun, what you have is a low pressure regulator, a high pressure regulator, and you have a dwell control on a board, 40 settings, half millisecond. So that little pop of air to open that valve can also be controlled by how long the solenoid stays open.
Can I slow you down and back you up a little bit?
Yes.
Because I want to make sure we're all kind of hanging with you.
Understood.
You're way smarter than I am, though. I love it. So this first regulator, I'm guessing, is stepping down the air that's in this bottle. What's the pressure in here?
Well, 4,200 PSI. Yes.
Okay, so this is a high pressure deal. So this reg steps it down.
Correct. And that's your main velocity control.
And so this turns, so I'm guessing that's open for more, closed for less?
Correct. No. Turn, right-handed turn, like you're screwing in for
increases
more,
it.
Decreases.
So opposite. Okay. And then the solenoid, which lives...
The solenoid lives in here.
Okay. This regulator is controlling the air
to the solenoid.
Correct. Okay, I'm with you.
All right, now
commence, sir.
All right, and here they are. These are the two regulators. Now they're built in a modular design. So basically, if we take this apart, there's a hex in here, so you can basically socket wrench and pull these right out of the body. So from a dealer standpoint, when we talk about fixing a regulator, if it never gets fixed, if the dealer just has a couple extra of these, pop that in, and we'll rebuild it for them. So it's just everything's built around easy maintenance and quick fixing if anything does go wrong.
Okay.
Also, this is a very unique regulator. It's a balanced regulator, which the bottom line is you can turn this regulator up and down without degassing the valve. It will just bleed a small amount of air through the bottom. So you don't have to, with a lot of air rifles, you have to degas the regulator before you turn it in one direction.
Okay.
That's not the case with these regulators.
I have another regulator question. So I'm visualizing all this in my head. This regulator controls the pressure on this one.
No, this regulator, the regulator, there was a port that moves from the high pressure regulator into the low pressure regulator.
Right, so as I turn this up, I'm putting more pressure on this reg.
You are.
So I'm almost visualizing this as kind of like a macro setting and a micro setting.
Well,
fine tuning,
not within the chamber. No. So PSI, so the operating, let's talk about, say 30 caliber 44 grain.
Okay.
A long barrel. Yeah. I'm gonna op fire this gun at 1100 psi, which is roughly 73 bar. I'm not real great with the bar, but I'm working on it. And so this regulator would tune to your 73 bar.
Okay.
But this regulator is a second regulator. It'll take that pressure, but it won't change. It'll be fixed at roughly 120 to 150 pounds.
Yes.
So this is not really a micro setting. Normally you just set it and forget it. Okay, you can change
because when I increase this, when I open up this regulator more, it's just going to put more pressure on that one.
Very small amount.
So it's going to flow more. So this can be kind of a Okay, I'm with you.
And you need very little at the low pressure. You need very little air to open that solenoid. It's almost
like a 70 bar deal, something like that.
No, less than that. 150 psi, 120 psi.
Oh, okay.
Like 8 or 9.
Yeah, 10 bar.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No.
I just want to make sure I'm hanging with you.
No problem.
This is heavy.
So again, the regulators are very modular. They're made to be pulled in and out and easily serviced.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay.
All right.
So,
well, before I interrupted you,
yes.
I think I had held you up. You were talking about the valving, the solenoid, some controls back here.
Yes.
So there's an electronic component.
Right.
To this.
So beyond the, so once we get the pressure set to the solenoid, now there's an electronic control on how long it stays open. So there are
the
40
solenoid controls. That's like your valve.
timing. Yes. So there's 40 settings, half millisecond between settings.
So that's how I'm ultimately controlling flow to the transfer port.
That's how you're controlling flow to this section of the valve that opens the valve.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So we talked about timing. We want to control how fast it opens, how fast it closes.
Right.
That's part of the tuning.
Right.
But there's no mechanical. It's not like a typical tuning situation where you're working with a hammer and a sear that's going to degrade over time and change your timing.
Yeah.
So it maintains its timing for a much longer period of time with there's nothing to go wrong.
And so with the solenoid controlling how long it stays open, that's ultimately controlling how much air you're getting behind the pellet or slug. So that controls the velocity.
The main control velocity is your main high pressure
on the solenoid.
And the dwell and the low pressure are usually preset, meaning you'll set them and forget them. You'll have a dwell that gets the valve open crisply, and then at that point, almost 95% of your will just be a velocity control with the main regulator.
So why would the customer need these controls back here to control the dwell time on the solenoid?
Because there are different types of customers.
Okay.
There's the guy who just wants the gun to shoot, hunt me. Wants the gun to shoot, period. And then there's a bench shooter who wants to play with every single control that he can possibly get a hold of to get the crisp and best shot that can be made. So they do make differences. And some customers will appreciate those differences. Other customers may not want to play with their gun settings that much. But the tuning, though, is much more straightforward, and you can read the directions, but you don't have to have the same knowledge to tune this gun.
There's a mechanical system.
Yes, you have to have a lot more knowledge and have spent time tuning to understand. I can teach you to tune this gun in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm hanging with you.
Yeah.
So you
can't teach me to tune other air rifles in 5 minutes.
Oh, I could do. Well, it'd take me longer, but I could teach you for sure. So our primary controls are going to be this reg adjustment here, and then this solenoid control here.
Yes.
And this will have effect on velocity.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But more realistically, if you turn the dwell down, you'll hear the valve. The valve it'll start to open, and then you'll go up more. It'll open more and more and more.
Yeah.
And then you want to get it to the point where it's fully open and a little further. Okay?
Yeah.
So like 2 milliseconds further than
and you want to stop right there.
Then you stop there.
So how do they make that adjustment? Here, I'll show them. But on the back of the handle here, guys,
the gun
you can see an illuminated deal. So you want to take it.
Sure. We'll go into what we call programming mode.
I'm going to square you to them a little bit. We're getting a little
certainly.
Yep. I think move away from me a little bit. There we go. Good.
All right. Before we go into how that works, I'm going to show you something else that I think is very important. So the micro switch is 80 grams. If you just pull that once, that's the entire fire right there.
Whoa.
Right. Now, to make that safe, we have an actuator switch.
Okay.
It has to be actuated before we can pull the trigger.
Is red hot?
Red is hot. Also, if we open this, you'll see this circle goes hollow.
Yeah.
When we close the action, it's solid. So the gun knows if it's been actuated or not.
Okay.
So it won't fire between action. So in other words, if the bolt's open, the gun won't fire. But on top of that, with this very light trigger, we have to come in and hit the actuator before we can fire.
Okay.
Now there are a number of programming settings.
Is that every time? Every time you
depends on whether you're in hunt, 3 modes, limit, or match.
Wait, hunt,
limit, or match.
Limit or match.
So if we're bench shooting, say EBR or whatever, and we can program the timer for 25, 30 minutes to stay on, so you don't have to go every time.
Nice.
But if you were hunting in the field, we would want you to use hunt mode, which turns off the speakers, by the way.
I like that.
And then in that way, you always have to hit it before you fire. That way you don't accidentally discharge the gun.
So you do have control over the timeout feature.
Yes.
For the trigger.
timing. Yes, all that.
Okay.
And then within this programming, we have a number of things we can do. We can program that feature and how long this stays on.
I'm going to square this up to them so they can kind of follow along with you.
We also can control, the gun will auto shut off after a period of time. You can set the timing. But we have the dwell setting, which is how you adjust the solenoid. But one of the more interesting settings we have in here I want to discuss is what we call first shot drop. So if a gun sits for, say, an hour unfired, the O-rings get what we call stiction. Almost all guns do, where the first shot varies slightly from the following shots.
Yep.
So what this gun allows you to do is pick that time period and then automatically add to the dwell or the timing.
That is crazy, because that is a pet peeve of every avid
So if you're a
hunter.
hunter and you've waited for a long time to take that shot,
That's an important feature to have.
exactly.
Wow.
Now we can actually. Now you'll have to play with your gun. Every gun's different, and every barrel's different. But you can adjust that and wait time periods and figure out for you what where that's going to be.
Yes. Okay.
So that's now. Let's just talk about programming mode.
Yeah.
So the bolt needs to be open.
All right.
I've got to shut the gun off. This is going to be a little awkward because I have to.
Well, you want me to hold it for you?
No, I got it. So what I have to do is have the bolt open, hold this switch in, and power the gun up.
I heard it talking.
It just went into,
Over all this noise.
It's a little
I heard
loud,
it
but
talking.
if it were quiet in here, you can hear it talking to you about everything we're doing. So now I just went into programming mode.
I'm gonna just square this to them because they can't see anything when you got it pointed
Right,
at
I'm
me,
trying to
so-
show them the screen. Yeah. All right. So now if I hit this button, I move through I move from one setting to the next.
All right.
And then if I want to program it, I hit the on-off button one more time.
Yep.
And then I hit this button, and we'll move through that particular sequence.
Okay.
Within the programming, and then I hold the button. I come one more time to come out.
Yep.
Shut it off, and it saves all the settings.
Super cool.
So it's a very simple way to program, and you get voice. You can't tell in here, but we get voice feedback.
Yeah,
we
I can
actually
hear
have two voices for you. We have male voice and female voice. In our paintball guns, we actually
Female
have,
voice, is she British?
Actually, there is a British, but
Or Australian would work just as well for me.
Yeah. So anyway, that's,
I'm going to back you up. I'm
Sure.
going to try to get you over our mark.
All right.
here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm trying to make it so that we don't wind up in a bear hunt by the end of the video here.
So I think maybe I'm going to work from the back of the gun to the front of the gun and show you the rest of the features.
That would be awesome, but I have questions.
Certainly.
So on the electronic bit, where does the battery live?
May I, could you hold this please?
Oh, sure.
All right. So this is the battery.
Okay.
Okay? And unlike other electronic air rifles, which I'm sure you're familiar with,
I am.
the solenoid is very low voltage, it's 4 volts. So this particular battery with one charge, you could shoot this gun for probably 4 months without ever recharging.
So how many thousands of shots is that?
Well, in the paintball world, we shoot about 100,000 rounds. Okay,
Whoa.
but it depends if you leave it on. It depends how much voice you use. The real draw is really in the voice.
Yeah.
But you're talking about months of shooting.
So you're not going to have.
If you shot every weekend significantly,
It doesn't matter.
1,000 shots, you're still going to match performance.
So what that means to these guys is you're not going to have that customer that's whining about a battery.
No.
And charging a battery.
40 minutes to recharge it after that.
And how much does that cost?
That's a good question. Adam, how much are the batteries?
Okay. So not a big deal.
inexpensive, right.
And so the next thing that comes to mind with the electronics, naturally, because if they want to hunt with it, water. Can you speak to that a little
sure.
bit? Okay.
Well, in the paintball world, we are much tougher on guns than air rifles. Really, anyway.
Makes sense.
We play in all conditions. For example, England is a lovely place.
Yes.
Where it
never
rains
rains
all
there.
the time.
It's always warm.
And so we used to have to submerge our electronics to demonstrate. We'd submerge them in water, fire them underwater, bring them out of water. The 30 years of development of the board, the low voltage, all the ways of sealing off components, pays off. I mean, we're not developing that. We developed that a long time ago.
Okay.
So you won't have any. It's all sealed anyway, but you won't have any water issues. Period.
That's okay. That's what I'm hearing. I'm trying to hear between the lines.
Yeah.
The water will be a non-issue.
Right. It will be a non-issue.
Okay. Last questions before
Sure.
you could do your deal. I see a gauge here.
Yep.
And I see two here.
Yes.
I'm guessing reg 1 and 2 and bottle pressure.
Correct.
So can you what's what on the topography here?
All right. So this is the bottle pressure.
Yeah.
This is the low pressure.
Okay.
And this is the chamber pressure.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And last question: do you want to do barrels now, or do you want to make it part of your end-to-end?
I think maybe barrels now because it's
okay.
important.
But you guys are doing some crazy stuff with barrels. Oh my God!
I'm going to use this long barrel, but these particular so we have 2 barrels. We have a 20.
It's talking again.
You probably hit the trigger and it told you fire fault. So if you accidentally hit the trigger and it's not engaged, it'll tell you did.
Ah, gotcha. All right, sorry.
So
barrels.
no problem. So we offer a 25-inch barrel, which is 625 millimeters, and a 35-inch barrel, which is 889 millimeters.
Okay.
And each barrel comes with 3 inserts. So basically we have a on size, we have a plus, which is 1/1000 larger, and a minus.
So barrel inserts. That's
Correct.
That's the term. Okay.
Correct. Now this is a long barrel. I actually am holding a short barrel insert.
Okay. Sorry.
But in here, so when you receive the gun or you receive any barrel kit in any caliber, you're going to get 3 barrels in that caliber.
So wow.
Yes. 3 inserts, I should say.
Yes, you get a barrel and 2 more inserts.
Correct.
With your gun purchase.
Yes, and as you know, just
all
like
in the
this,
same caliber.
and all those barrels are sleeved with the carbon fiber for rigidity. So you don't have to buy an extra carbon fiber. It comes with the gun. 3 of them.
So if the barrels are all the same caliber that come with the gun, what's the difference in
that? About what depends on the caliber, but in a 30 caliber, it's about 1/1000th of an inch between each barrel.
So they're different diameters inside.
Yes, that's the idea.
I'm with you.
The idea is to give you the ability to choose your pellet, match your barrel to your pellet.
Got it.
All right?
Yes.
And then, now we're going to go over this, but we have a completely unique way of holding our barrel in. It's a ratcheting system. On this side of the gun, this is the ratchet. So you push the ratchet. The other side, you pull a lever. All right?
Yeah.
And that's how you get the barrel out. And the way it works,
and I just push this down, and then it just pulls out.
Yeah, we'll do it with this one.
Okay.
But basically, so we're pulling tapers together. There's a small taper here. This is the transfer port. There's a small taper in the transfer port, and basically, these teeth pull the barrel into the transfer port. Very rigid, but it's all the way around instead of just at one point.
Okay.
Like a set screw. And then on top of that, there's an O-ringed sleeve in here, which gives the secondary support for the barrel.
Okay.
The carbon fiber sleeve is solid, very thick carbon fiber sleeve. And the way we index, a lot of people want to index their barrels.
Yes.
I'm going to show you that.
That is important.
So let's go over. Sorry, I just want to show them the compensator.
Yeah.
The compensator comes with every single gun.
I'm going to back you up a little
Certainly.
bit. There you go.
Sorry, the compensator comes with every single gun. It has one interchangeable part. This is for caliber. So you change this part if you change your caliber.
Okay.
Okay? And the way the compensator's a lot of holes in this thing, but the way it works is there's angled holes in this tip right here.
Yeah.
There's angled holes that draw all the air into the sleeve, as well as the shredder, which shreds off the remaining air. So you get a nice clean shot without any turbulence.
Nice. So you've done all that research.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, very similar to some other guns, I would think.
I'm going to back you up again.
Certainly.
There you go.
So this is how we house our insert. And how we take it off. So there's your insert.
So it just unscrews.
Yeah, it unscrews. Now, the O-rings on this side are tighter than the O-rings on this side by a little bit. And there's more of them. That allows you to index. So if I want to index this barrel, I just twist it on this cap. And then if I screw it back
And the resistance
in,
just holds it in
it
place.
will maintain, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And then it'll screw into a new position for indexing. And there's a little mark on the end of the cap so you can keep track of where you are.
So right now they're probably wondering a couple of things.
Yes.
So I buy my gun in a caliber.
Yes.
I get probably a plus size and a minus size on the diameter in that caliber so I can fine tune it to the ammo.
Yes.
Part of the tuning thing. but also with my gun, I can switch to a different caliber
Absolutely.
barrel,
Yes.
and then also buy probably the liners for that. And when I do that, it'll also come with a new
Plus and minus.
plus and minus,
And
and it'll come with that new insert inside the moderator.
we offer this in 177, 22, 25, 30, and 357 or 35.
Do you know yet what the cost of that
Yes,
will be?
we have all of the cost of the gun.
Yeah.
The retail is $2,950.
$29.50 for the gun with 3 barrels.
And
if I want to buy
strangely
that,
enough, the 357 we do not recommend with a short barrel because it requires at 81 grain. You get a lot lower pressure shot with the long barrel. So we actually sell the 357 with the long barrel. The 20, the 22, 25, and 30 come standard with short barrel. This is an accessory.
Okay.
And then 177, I discussed with Steve that we have our own technique of manufacturing our barrels. And 177 is a little strange because our technique doesn't work at that smaller caliber. So we go with a button rifle barrel for 177. Okay, that also makes it a little more expensive.
Okay, so what is the cost for a barrel kit, if you would?
The barrel kits, Adam, do you have, I'm sorry, I need to reference the
Yeah,
sheet.
let's ask for
The
sure.
barrel kit cost.
It depends on the length, and somewhere in the 2 to 350 range, depending on the length.
$200 to $350, depending on what length caliber.
Exactly.
Perfect. And did I hear you? I thought I heard you right. You making your own barrels?
Yes.
Can you speak to that?
Yes. So some of the other industry leaders have made their own barrels and done a tremendously good job with that.
Okay.
We think the guts of the air rifle, minus electronics and the low pressure, is really a barrel.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time developing our own technology. So the barrel is also coated with a very unique coating. We use a nickel Teflon coat
Inside and out.
Inside and out with a phosphorus, and the phosphorus basically determines the hardness. So it's a very hard barrel, and very difficult to wear, but if it did wear, say, 1/1,000,000 of an inch, more Teflon, it's impregnated in the
It like
actual
outgasses
cells.
Teflon
And
inside the barrel?
so basically, lubricity continues to grow as you shoot.
What?
And it won't lead like a normal barrel
That is
because there's nothing
crazy.
to stick to. So the lead, it doesn't need to be cleaned as often,
Wow.
and the amount of lead you will get out of it when you clean it will be much less.
It's like cookware tech in
yes,
your
exactly.
airgun barrel.
That's a very good. Yeah, good.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. Yep.
Huh. And you know, the leading is such a huge problem when we try to push our ammo to those faster speeds. So that is very intriguing.
And right now we have the pellet liners. We are working though diligently on developing all of our slug liners.
Nice.
So our pellet liners are 30 caliber with 138 twist.
This is a rifle deal? Rifle barrel,
Yes.
choke barrel,
We
kind of
don't
like
choke.
what they're used to.
We don't choke.
No chokes
No
on the
chokes.
barrels.
We don't like that. We have found we don't like the choke.
And it works with the pellets.
Yes, brilliantly with pellets. But our twist rates are very low with pellets. Now, when we go to slugs, we're going to have to chamber our inserts, and we'll sell a probe that's adjustable, so you can adjust the exact position depending on the length of your slug. And those twist rates will be more than 150, 160, 180. You need a lot. You need to stabilize that projectile. You need more spin.
Sure. Huh.
But the pressures. So
Well, I had a barrel question.
yes, go.
Yep. So, is this like a hammer forged deal? Is it like a cut deal, or
It's neither.
Okay.
It's actually it's a proprietary process.
Oh, it's a top secret deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to share our process.
Yeah, no,
'cause
no.
That's
I'm
just
just
a
curious.
mistake.
Yeah,
But the bottom line is, I would.
It's something special.
It is. It's very unique.
Okay. Yeah. All good. Okay. Thank you for helping with my questions.
All right.
Do you want to do that end to end?
Sure.
Do you want to get a drink or anything before? You've been going like the ShamWow guy, Bill.
So
I don't want to wear you out. You got 3 days left.
I'm going.
Sure.
I'm going. All right. So from end to end. So you ask, why is this $2,900? Well, we offer a lot of standard.
I'm going to square you to those guys. Yeah.
We offer a lot of standard equipment
Talk to these dudes.
that would have to be accessorized on many other guns. So the first thing to note is that we have a fully adjustable stock situation back here.
So the butt pad
Butt
goes
pad
up and
as
down.
well as in and out on the all with fine-tuned notching.
Oh, so the length of pull is also adjustable.
Yes, exactly.
But that
Yes. Yeah, length of pull.
I just want to feel that.
Right here. Good. Okay. So we got the full adjustable stuff. Then
Okay. And then the comb is adjustable.
yes, comb is also adjustable
All right.
up and down.
I see it. I see it.
Now these are really unique. I'm going to show you the first feature, and then I'm going to put the gun down and show you the rest of it. But basically, this is all magnetic, and it pulls the
The magazine. Oh,
right in,
I
on
saw
its
it.
own.
Vacuumed it right in there.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So very, you don't have to fiddle around. You stick it in there, it's going to pop right in place every time.
So how does this open up?
I'm going to show you that.
All right.
So it's billet machined aluminum, magnetic as well. So you
Show
just
these guys.
simply pull it apart. And then we do something different with our magazines. A lot of people put a blocker in here.
Move you over again.
Certainly.
We're bear hugging again.
All right.
There
a
you
lot
go.
of people put a block in here. We don't do that. We have this notch. So on 30 caliber, I would turn this 2 times. But if I'm using 177, of course I would have a different component in here for 177.
Yeah.
But I'd crush my pellet if I turned it 2 times. So at 177, it would be a turn and a half. So basically, we allow you, the user, to determine how much force you want to apply to your pellets. So if you're really finicky, and a lot of people even hand load, they don't even like to use it.
Yeah, because sometimes.
But you
that
could
can-
also
that can
load this
matter.
with about 6, and just you could load it up with and then only put a few pellets in it
Sure.
if you wanted to, and have less pressure
Sure.
on your pellets.
Okay.
That's all, customer preference and what they want to do. But
Feels like
everything,
it's all metal, right?
it's all metal, and you get a big spares kit. Again, different with this gun.
Yeah, grab it.
So
I can hold your magazine for you if you want.
So we give you, with each gun, you get this kit, which houses a lot of stuff. You have tools, grease, your actual.
I'm gonna hold that up so
your
they can see.
magazines here, and then on this side,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a special tool for your valve tool, which helps you take your valve out if you
We
ever
just
need
drop
to.
that down so they can see
Certainly.
it. There we go.
Your charging kit, extra O-rings and springs,
Nice.
including the spring for your magazine.
Very
so
nice.
If you ever need to fix it, very straightforward and easy to fix.
Okay. Sorry,
No
you're in
problem.
hand.
So then, actually, I'm going to grab the other one. if you
Okay,
want.
sure.
Now, the barrel engagement is very unique. This is the ratcheting device. So this side I push it. I then pull this barrel up, and the barrel will come right out of the gun.
So that's where you just push the tab, you broke that other thing
yeah.
down, pull it right
and then
out.
I slide it back into position, and ratchet it back down again, which may be difficult without putting the gun down. But
Take time.
Yeah,
If you need to put it on the table to do it, do it.
there it is. Lock it in place, and ratchet back down and lock it in.
So they're probably wondering,
Yep.
does it move around and like that thing's
No, because it's going to pull 2 tapers together. We're machinists like Morris tapers. It's locking the 2 tapers together, which makes it very firm. Okay, all the way around the surface instead of just in like a typical air rifle has set screws, which locks the barrel in one place. And if you tighten the set screws at different levels, you can change your point of aim.
But not with this.
No, this will pull it all in.
It really does feel solid.
The carbon, you talk about barrels and rigidity, and you know that a lot of people have to have special devices built into the barrel or to support them, make them more rigid. But this single piece of carbon, very thick, and then the carbon inside, we don't have a lot of rigidity, bending moments in this barrel. So under high pressure and a lot of velocity,
lot of whip.
doesn't move much, not
Okay.
much whip. That's
Okay.
right.
What I'm going to do,
Yep.
if we get too close to this mic, it'll clip.
All right.
And then they'll hear nothing except, it won't be great. Let's
All right.
just, try to stay behind
back.
our little
All
box
right.
here.
All right.
Just want
So
it to be good for them.
no problem. So moving forward, now we have our electronics on our grip. Our grip also comes with 3 grip swells, basically for different size hands.
Okay.
So you can change this plate out, smaller or bigger,
Okay.
depending on the size of your hand.
But it comes with the one.
Right. And the trigger, we showed you, the trigger's fully adjustable, pre-travel, post-travel, and the position of firing. So you can actually do quite a bit to make your trigger the way you want it to be for your shooting style.
Got it. It's a single stage deal though, right?
Yes, it is a single stage deal. Although you don't have that In a two-stage trigger, most of the time, you're really looking for that point where the gun is ready to fire.
Yeah,
So
the travel and then the wall.
Right. The beauty about this trigger is really, really talented shooters. They come to that wall, but if the wall weren't there, they'd be perfectly comfortable with that because there's no pull. This trigger is so light that you can settle on your aim point and just slowly touch this thing. It's one of the biggest things about shooting the gun in terms of accuracy, because it's very difficult to pull it off its point of aim by inadvertently making a bad pull.
Yeah.
Okay? And in fact, our wives sit down and shoot these things. They've never shooting before, and are shooting 100
I see what you're saying, because there'd be dwell time there, but because you haven't disrupted the gun during that, you're more consistent.
You're not coming off. You're just starting into a breath and a pull, and the gun, there's no jerk at all through the action. So then we have this is our on-off. This is a bleed the gun. It's a fast bleed. So if you hit this, bleeds the whole gun off.
Bleeds the plenum, bleeds the rags.
And you can make it safe, yes. You can also take also these bottles are designed to travel. So you can show TSA that they're, so when I take this off, 500, I believe.
500?
Yeah,
something
500.
like that.
Yeah. And so anyway, you can get the bottle off, show the TSA. We will make accessories eventually, allowing for a valve in here. So if you want to fill and keep it separate, you can. It's one of the accessory items that we're going to move towards. So then you've got your two regulators, your high and your low pressure. And the rail is 20 MOA rail, so it gives you the ability to, without a lot
all
of
machined aluminum, you can just feel it. It's nice and sharp.
Yep. And let me see, what else?
Is that M-LOK?
Yes, it is. It's M-LOK. And we're also building an accessory. A lot of people have asked, a lot of people don't want a tank adapter to mount their iPods.
I see it right there.
Well, that's our tank adapter, but we're also building this is our tank adapter, the standard, but we're building a rail system.
Back you up a little bit again, brother.
Certainly.
We're
building a rail
I got
system.
Powerade bottles on the floor here for us. So that's our magic line we can't cross.
So we're building a rail system that comes across here, so you can put your high-end mounts without touching the bottom.
All right.
Let me put this down.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on top of all this, we have always specialized in coatings and always anodized coatings. This isn't Cerakote, and you can see some of the really elaborate. This is actually anodized. This is sublimated and anodized right in the material. So we're going to be able
to pull it up this way. That way they can see it if we do that.
All right.
There we go. All right. Got
we're going to provide guns in very unique colors, very unique styles. I think this is going to be about a $200 upcharge for color.
Okay.
And one of the really neat things we hope everyone appreciates, in the big events, EBR, Rocky Mountain Challenge, if you compete with our gun and you are in the top 10, you're the highest individual with our gun in the top 10, you win the golden gun. So we're doing that for EBR, Rocky Mountain Challenge, and we may do it for some of the other smaller events, but it'll be top 3.
I love the language you're talking. Like I can tell you've really embraced the airgun world and the airgun industry. And
that's all we've ever done. I mean, paintball's a little different, but we love to shoot. We love to have fun. We love the whole game.
Thank you for that. God, Bill, that has been an amazing presentation. I'm trying to think if there's anything more I wanted to ask you.
Well, I think some of the pressures, the operating pressures.
Yeah, we could talk about fill pressure and operating pressure.
So with the long barrel, I shoot a 44 grain 30 caliber pellet, JSB.
Yep.
And so my operating pressure around my plenum to fire that at 915 feet per second is 1,100 pounds, which is roughly 73 bar. Okay?
Yep.
The reason I want to mention that is that's quite a bit lower.
It's a low operating pressure.
Very low. And with the low operating pressure, we get less movement, we get less kick, we get a very smooth shot. So we spent a lot of time working on getting that pressure
that
down.
docile shot cycle.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention.
I do too. We think alike there. Okay.
All right.
And then what's the fill pressure for this guy?
4,200.
4,200. You already told me that.
Yeah. And this bottle is for the dealers out there in the world, we got the world certification. So many of the European dealers have a problem sometimes, or the American dealers, when they get a tank that is certified for only Europe or certified for the US. So all our tanks are certified for everywhere.
Okay, and so this is available now in the U.S. You're going to start seeing it at dealers.
Yep.
And your plan is to offer this in Europe as well, because we've got a lot of followers over there that are
Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Asia. It'll be available everywhere. We have distribution. We have distributors for our paintball equipment in most places around the world. So we'll reach out to them. They've already reached out to us. Some are licensed, others aren't. They're getting their license if they're not, or we'll move to dealers that are just Airgun dealers.
Perfect. I just thought of something I wanted to ask you, and you hit on it earlier. Have you developed your barrels around the JSB pellets? Because I think you mentioned. So yes. We're always wanting to know.
But we also, with the 3 liners, probably offer you a lot more. Generally when you get an air rifle in 1 caliber, that's your barrel, and you're stuck with that barrel. You could buy an additional barrel in that caliber, but most people don't do that. But giving you these 3 sizes, you probably have a lot more leeway to shoot different pellets.
Totally. I was just thinking between the tunability and the plus and minus sizing of the barrels, you could probably make the gun shoot with just about whatever you wanted.
I would agree with you.
Bill, I can't thank you enough. This has been mind-blowing, and
it's talking to you again.
What's that?
It's talking to you again.
This thing's been chirping at me the whole time. I don't know what I'm doing.
You hit the trigger.
Oh, is that what I'm doing?
It's telling you fire.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's a good thing the gun's not loaded, right?
No, it wouldn't fire any.
That's true, because I got to hit my little actuator button. Okay, but thank you so much for spending so much time, being so thorough, teaching these guys your tech, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
I am really excited for you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great show.